guys, welcome to the 3D Print Space. I'm Graham and you're watching my first ever real video. What's my first video where I'm actually visible and talking, which are things I'm not all too familiar with when making videos, so please do bear with me for my embarrassing moments, I'm sure they're going to happen. But to kick things off, we have a really fun project. It is the Apex Legends Wingman. However, it's a wingman with a pretty cool twist. Got a nice spring-loaded mechanism inside that mimics the reload action of within the game, which I always thought was really cool how it reloads in game, so I figured I'd design a wingman that actually does that, and this was the result. It's a really fun build, there's a lot of moving parts to it, so let's get started. Just show you some quick close-ups of the wingman. As this is my first project, I'll give you some quick hints and tips as to what you can expect from this build and from future builds from me. Firstly, I don't like sanding and I don't like painting. I design my product so that each part can be printed in the colour that it's supposed to be in and either screwed or clipped together. I also don't like using glue. I like the ability to take my products apart, maintain them if necessary, or make slight changes to the design of certain bits, print them out, take the original project apart, put the new bits in, and then put it all back together again. In terms of screws, I always use number 6 flanged self-tapping screws. I just find they're absolutely perfect for screwing 3D printed parts together, especially PLA. I mostly use 5/8 inch long screws, but if I'm limited on space, I will use 3/8 inch ones and sometimes even 1/2 inch ones. So if you're going to follow my projects in the future, I would recommend stocking up on those. So let's take a look at what we need to build the wingman. Obviously you need a 3D printer. You need black filament for the majority of the product. You need silver filament, bronze filament, some copper or brown filament, and maybe even some red filament if you've got some lying around. I wouldn't recommend buying a kilogram of red filament just to make those tiny bits, but that's up to you. You need 15 number 6 by 3/8 inch screws, 11 number 6 by 5/8 inch screws, and you need this spring, which is actually a fairly specific spring. It is a 65mm free length spring by 6.8mm diameter. If you're in the UK, you can source those off RS. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can buy them. You also need a screwdriver and some grease. I like to use silicone grease, I just find it works really well for PLA. So we're going to start with the hardest bit first, which is building the top and bottom bits that move. You're going to need these bits that I've laid out in front of me here, and you're going to need 3 of the 3/8 inch screws. I will also make note that this is actually the same wingman that I started the video with. I actually just took it apart, so I've already applied the grease where it needs to be, and I've got myself very greasy in the process. And I've also super glued in the bits, as you can see here. So that is something that you'll need to do. You can either do it before or after, it doesn't really matter. So to begin, the top part, as you can tell, these 4 pieces here, they look quite similar, but the top part uses these ones, which looks like a bit of an elongated top hat. The bottom part uses these bits, which are pointed on one end. So let's start with the one that's shaped like a top hat. What you want to do is just place one side in this top bar like so. Make sure that the long part, the long edge you see there, is aiming forward. That's how you know you've got it the right way around. When you put these bits in, you actually picked up the wrong one there. You want to make sure that when you push them flat, that they point upwards. That's how you know you got the correct orientation there as well. So put 2 of those in, like so. When you get the other side, you want to put the opposite handed pieces in there as well. It can be a bit fiddly this, but you want to squeeze that in there on top of the one you've already put in. And I can't do it. There we go. So that is how that piece should look. I want to take 2 of these screws and screw it all together. Just another note that the other piece to super glue is that brass pin in there. So that side is done. Do the same with this bit. Again, make sure that when you push them in and they're flat against there, that they're pointing upwards. Push these together like so. And now you see how you have the angle bit there, the flat piece there. You want to slide that into this part, like so, and push it flat. And then use the remaining screw to screw it all together. Like so. And the final piece should look like this. Now the next step is you want to take the left hand part of the main body, and you know it's the left hand part because it has these two screws here, or these two screw holes, sorry, and then two screw holes there, which the right side does not. So first you want to take this piece, and you'll notice that these two, while they look symmetrical, the right side actually has a hole there. So you want to put that piece aside and then use the one that has the hole on the inside part there. Simply place that on the back like so. Take one of the 3/8 inch screws. Should have put that on the screwdriver first. And just screw that in to the leftmost hole. Straighten it out if it twists a little bit, like so. And you want to take the left silver panel, which is this one here. You'll notice the right one has a bit of a clip there, the left one has a hole there, so that's the one you need. You take that, you put that in place like so, then you screw that part in through that hole. Like so. Now you want to take this arm here, which is the arm that rotates the revolving bit in the centre. You want to apply a little bit of grease on the inside there, place it in there like so, take these two pieces, push them over like that. Make sure they're pushed in nice and firm, because that will hold that arm in place. And you take two more of the 3/8 inch screws. And screw them in like so. And that should move quite freely. It should be held in place fairly sturdily, but also rotate quite freely. Now you want to take this middle arm here and the trigger. You'll notice that the trigger sits quite nicely in an L-shaped slot there. You want to take a 5/8 inch screw, place it through the hole, and screw it through the trigger. Like so. Now you take the bits you made earlier, remember that is the bottom piece, and notice the position of the trigger. Just move these top pieces down out of the way like so. Place this middle piece onto the pins. Make sure all 4 of them are sat inside the slots. Then gently bring these back, slide them over and push them through the slots on the other side. And you should have something like that. Now you want to take the middle part that you assembled earlier. You need to place that on top, but take note that these pins here need to slide through the slots there. So simply just push it down over like that. And then it should all seat in place quite nicely. Now this can be a bit annoying, but you want to take the spring, push it through a hole on that side, and gently, without damaging it, push the spring through there, like so. Now you want to take the right side of the main body, dab a little bit of silicone gel on those. I should have said that earlier as well, on the left side. Simply hold the trigger in a little bit to place it on top. Like that. Now you want to take 4 of your 5/8 inch screws and screw this all together. Through that hole, that hole, that hole and that hole. You want to leave these 2 for now. Now you should really see the Wingman taking place. Taking shape, I mean. A little bit of debris in there. Now, you want to take the right side silver panel, which has that slot, and take the right side black panel, which has the other end of that slot. Simply push it on top like so. Now that whole piece, just place it on top there. You want to take 1 5/8 inch screw and screw it through that hole right there. Now you want to take this bronze piece here, push it over the top like that, and then take 2 of the 3/8 inch screws and screw them through those 2 holes. Like that. Take this center revolving barrel part and you want to insert it over that piece sticking out there. So you might need to pull the trigger in order to push it over. And you want to take 1 5/8 inch screw and screw it through that hole. So, take the cap for that part. Note that the shape is kind of chamfered there. You want to make sure that that lines up like that. In fact, it's probably best just to know that you have a hole there and that needs to line up with that hole there. So you want to just slide it over the top like so. Now take 1 of the 3/8 inch screws and screw that part in place. Next you want to take this rear part and this silver cap. Place the silver cap over like so. Take one 3/8 inch screw and screw it through that hole in the middle there. Then you want to take this bronze piece here, push it up through that hole like so, and that will just stay in there like that once it's assembled on here. Now this is why we didn't put the 2 screws there, because you want to pull it apart ever so slightly to place that in there. Take one 5/8 inch screw and screw this trigger together. Take another 5/8 inch screw and screw through that last remaining hole there. And you'll notice now that that piece is in place quite nice and firmly. Next step is to take the 2 side panels. The right one has a hole there in the Wingman text. You'll notice it has these 4 clips here, and they will push in quite nicely into the 4 slots in the main body. Do it on the other side. You also need to take the remaining little bronze bit, just push it up through the back side there, hold it in place while you press in this left side panel, like so. Now take 2 more 3/8 inch screws and screw through these remaining 2 holes here. Final part is to build the handle assembly. So what you want to do is take one of each of these parts, the silver and the black. That should push in quite nicely into there, like so. Do the same on that side. Actually, you can just push them over the top like that. Slide them in through there. And they should clip in quite nicely. Do the other side. And then insert this whole handle onto the main part, like so. Let's take one 5/8 inch screw, screw it through a hole on the left side. Flip it over and take one 3/8 inch screw, smaller one, on the right side. Now you want to take the last 2 pieces for the bottom of the handle. Silver bit just pushes up there into the black part, and then that whole piece slides into the handle. Take one 5/8 inch screw, the remaining 5/8 inch screw, and screw it through the left side, and that will go all the way through the handle and hold it in place. Take the remaining 3/8 inch screw and screw it through the last hole on the bottom on the right side. Now if you did print the little red bits, you can just put a dab of super glue on the inside there and push them in place. And that, my friends, is a finished Wingman. So that is it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you built a Wingman, I would love to see it. So do follow me on Instagram and do tag me in some pictures of it. That would be really cool. If you want to see more from me, then please do subscribe. So I have a lot of ideas I would like to do, a lot of cool projects I would like to bring to you. And that is it. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.